It's been 3 years since the first full release of Train Sim World, and since then, we've gotten no light rail or tram routes for the game. It's understandable, being that the game is called Train Sim World, and not Tram Sim, and also the regular train routes are more popular. A lot of people do like light rail and tram routes though, and would purchase one if it were to become available. In this video, I'm going to be giving my top 5 list of light rail routes I would like to see come to TSW2. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it, and if you are new to the channel and you haven't already, subscribe. Let's get into it. Starting at number 5, we have the Link Light Rail system. Link Light Rail is a light rail system serving the Seattle area. This would be a new part of the United States to be featured in TSW, with this route being in the Northwest. Link Light Rail is owned and operated by Sound Transit, the main transit operator in Seattle. The system has over 20 miles of track with 2 lines and 20 stations. However, we're only going to be talking about line 1 of the system since the other line isn't too interesting. Line 1, which has 16 stations and just over 20 miles of track, is the main line in the system. It has the highest ridership numbers with the better rolling stock, and it covers more ground. The system runs 20 hours a day with headways as low as 6 minutes during peak hours. It runs between the University of Washington in the north to Angle Lake in the south. The line is fairly modern, being opened in 2009, and is unique with its track network being underground, elevated, and at grade at parts along its route. This would give the United States another route. Plus, players would be introduced to a new type of train in the game, with light rail finally being available. Finally, players would be able to explore a new part of the US with more unique stations and pieces of scenery, such as the City Tunnel, which was formerly used by buses before it was converted for light rail use. Next up, for number 4, we have the Budapest Tram System. One of the largest tram networks in the world, the Budapest Tram System contains over 155 kilometers of track, 630 stations, and 36 lines. Now obviously, it would be insane to ask for the whole system to be created for the game, but with the system being this big, there's a lot of opportunity for multiple routes, multiple lines to be in one route, and for a diverse and unique playing experience. Now I don't have any specific lines that I would like to be featured in the game, being that it was difficult to find much information on specific lines, but I do think the system is very interesting, large, and diverse, and I would love to see it make an appearance in TSW. Maybe it could even be bundled with a Budapest Metro route. At number 3, we have the Frankfurt U-Bahn. Now I know I talked about this in my train simulator routes I would like to see in TSW video, but the system is making a return in this video because I think it is a very unique and interesting system that would be a really nice addition to the game. The U-Bahn is a fairly large system serving the city of Frankfurt and the surrounding areas. It contains 9 lines, 86 stations, and over 65 kilometers of track. This system runs mostly above ground, with some stations and sections of track being underground. The system may seem large with the number of stations it possesses, and in that aspect, it really is large, and it would probably take a while for DTG to create. But honestly, I think the whole system can be included in one route. There's only 65 kilometers of track, which is comparable to a route like Cologne-Aachen, and the 9 lines would give the player a great variety of services to run. Now I know this is pretty ambitious and a large project, but it would be very nice to see in TSW. And hey, it's already been created in Train Simulator, so maybe some assets from that version can be reused in this version with a couple of modifications for use in TSW. Moving on to number 2, we have the Calgary C Train. The Calgary C Train is a high-floor light rail system serving the city of Calgary in Canada. The system is a pretty small one, with 2 lines and 45 stations. The 2 lines brings the track length to a total of 60 kilometers. The system is one of the busiest light rail systems in North America, with a weekday ridership number of over 305,000. The 2 lines connect in the city center between the 8th Street station and the City Hall station. The 2 routes are the Red Line and the Blue Line, also known as Route 201 and 202 respectively. This route would provide a nice operating experience for players. The high-floor LRVs give off more of a traditional rapid transit type feel, with it being more similar to a subway rather than a regular light rail route. The 2 lines connect in the city center, and in that center, players will be able to take in the sights of the city and enjoy the nice scenery. The 2 lines have normal street running sections in the middle of the city, and in some of the outer parts of the 2 lines, they run elevated. I might make a video about this system in the future, so be sure to subscribe to the channel if you would like to see that video. And finally, we have the LA Metro. Now, the LA Metro runs multiple different types of transit around the Los Angeles area, including subway, bus, and light rail. They run 4 light rail routes named the A Line, C Line, E Line, and L Line. The 4 lines contain almost 80 stations altogether and 85 miles of track. I would suggest for either the E or L lines to be made for TSW. The E Line, formerly known as the Expo Line, runs between downtown Santa Monica and the 7th Street Metro Center. The line has 19 stations and has about 15 miles of track. The line has some street running sections, along with some sections where it has its own dedicated right-of-way. The line basically runs from the beach to downtown LA. The L Line, formerly known as the Gold Line, runs between Atlantic Station and Citrus College. The line has 26 stations and runs for about 31 miles. It is the longest LA Metro line with the most stations. The line is unique in that it runs in the median of Interstate 210 for about 3 stations. These 2 lines have some interesting sections, like the E Line when it's street running near the Santa Monica Beach, and the L Line while it's running in the median of the highway. I think that this system would be a great addition for TSW, and I would love to see it at some point. Light rail hasn't really been featured in TSW yet, and I think that at least one of these lines would be a great addition to the game. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see these routes in TSW 2, like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. Peace.